Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to give you all an update of our garden for July 2022. So let's get into what's new. So we started some kale from seeds a while ago, and we transplanted them from the cell trays that we had, and they are doing wonderful. As you can tell, they are doing wonderful, and they're flourishing, and they're getting so big. And I mean, just look at them. This looks like grass. Yep. But yeah, just look at them. So we planted 8 of them here, and we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That little one at the end is 5. Only 5 survive. The strongest survives. Right? And then, if you see against this fence, as you can tell against this fence, these are cantaloupes. So last year we planted about 10 seeds, only 4 made it. And then out of the 4, we got a few cantaloupes, but none were big enough for us to actually consume. They weren't ready, and ultimately the plants died. But this year we came hard. We planted a lot more seeds. So this entire row right here are cantaloupe seeds that we planted. And I think it's about 17 seeds right here. And if you look further back, I skipped a row because I plan on putting plants right there. We also planted maybe not 17, but maybe like 10 to 15 on this row near this tomato plant. And only about 3 of them have came up. So 1, 2, and then it's a little one right here, 3. But we are very satisfied. We have started getting flowers on majority of them. And then Markel made this fence for us. He got like some metal poles. We had this wire, I think it's considered chicken wire, but we've had it for other projects in the past since we've been living here, and so it's just been sitting. So he got that and some twist ties and just put them along the fence to hold it up. And so yeah, we are very happy with our cantaloupe so far. They look beautiful. I think they do. I love them. But yeah, that's the cantaloupe. Ew, bird poop. But yeah, you see so many flowers. Like when you get up in them, there's flowers everywhere. Let's see, we got one here as well. We have one here. And so what I've noticed, like with plants, I'm not sure if all plants do this, but it seems like it. With our tomatoes, squash, zucchini, cantaloupes, any plants that has flowers before the fruit comes up, the flowers are really open at the early part of the day. And then as the day goes on, they go down. So yeah, about 17 here. So we got about 20 cantaloupe plants, and these are way bigger than what they got last year. And Markel still has not put up a fence here. I think he planned on doing that this weekend or maybe Monday, because it is 4th of July, Monday. Today is July the 2nd. And so, yeah. And so if you can tell, so this is why we ultimately like to put up a fence, because these little stringy things, they're straight right now, but if a fence was here, they would be curling to grab onto the fence, and it'll be like it'll be intertwined. Like, yeah, here a good example, like this. And so I'm gonna actually have to tell him we need to get a fence up ASAP. And this whole plant right here is one big plant right here spreading out. This is one by itself here, and then we have our little one here. All right, and I don't know if you all can tell, but could you see in the background? Yes, we had another drop of mulch, you guys. Now, if you go back to our other videos, you will see that we basically told you all how you can get free mulch. I'm not saying that it works in every state, but in South Carolina for sure, there are businesses who cut down trees for a living, and I don't know if they don't have anything to do with the mulch or just prefer to use this as a tax write-off. I'm not sure, but I do know if you go to Dropship or shipdrop.com or something like that, just go back to the previous video about free mulch, and it should be in the description, the actual link. You can put a request in for free mulch, put the address where you want it to be dropped off. You can even upload a picture for the area, and they drop free mulch. Now, let me show you what I did with some of that mulch. So far, we put it in our mini garden bed, which is doing wonderful. As you all know, I hate pulling weeds, okay? If it was up to me, I would not pull weeds. I hear a lot of people say, oh, it messes up the growth of the plant and takes away from the nutrients from the plant. But I'm gonna be honest, these plants in this bed, I have not pulled weeds one time, and they seem to be doing wonderful. The only reason why I added this mulch is because I was getting to the point where I could not tell with my starter plants what was what. So like if you look here, this is a small pepper plant, right? That's a small pepper plant. I think it's about 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And so when this is cluttered with weeds, I can't even tell where the plant's at. So I was getting to the point when I was watering this area, I was just, the weeds was getting water and the plants was getting water. Because you know what, this is ridiculous. So what we did was we did start to use some of this mulch to put in this bed. We actually like this mulch a lot better. It seems like it's broken down a little bit more. They even have leaves in here, which I love. And the mulch from, if you can tell the difference, let's see. So this is what they recently sent us, right? And I mean, look at it compared to this. These are so fat, and it's gonna break down eventually, but look how big that is compared to these, you know what I mean? And I love the color of this. It seems like a different tree. We believe it may be like a maple tree, just based on some of the leaves, but we aren't sure. And it has like the smell. So the last bulk of mulch that we had dropped in our yard was pine trees. We knew for sure because it smelled like pine. And it also had pine cones and all of that. You can tell it's a pine tree. But this smell, it's a sweet smell, but it's like a different type of smell. And so we think it's maple. So while we're over here, let me show you what we have in our added bed. So of course, all of these are sunflowers. We have sunflowers all over our property. So we have some here. We have one in the front yard that made it. Shout out to the birds who messed up the rest of them. Of course, they ate the seeds before they could even flourish, all but one. And then I showed you the 5 pepper plants in here, the baby pepper plants. I already showed you those. And we also have another pepper plant. So we have harvest. Make sure I'm not gonna step on anything. We have harvest peppers from all of our pepper plants so far. And so we have 2 green peppers, and we actually harvest peppers about a week and a half ago, probably 2 weeks. And our pepper plants have already started growing back more peppers. So I noticed that only 1 or 2 peppers were on these plants, and I was like, okay, nothing. We kept getting flowers, but none of them started turning like they were trying to turn into actual peppers. So I started researching online, and then come to find out, they were like, yeah, when you get your first pepper, you should just go ahead and snip it, because that would allow the plant to want to produce more peppers. So I think that actually worked, because we have one here, we have one here, and then we have more here. We have a lot on this plant. So we see 1, 2, and It looks about, it's a lot because it's some that you can't really tell yet, but they're coming up in here. But yeah, it's bad. And then of course, look at this one. This one grew literally overnight. Like, we got so much rain and it was just like, what? I did, in the process of researching to see how can I get the plants to produce more peppers, I did run across some information that also said that peppers love to be watered. They love to be watered. I've even seen some people say because of the heat that they're getting throughout the day, they actually don't water their peppers daily. They water their peppers once a week and give their peppers anywhere from a gallon to a gallon and a half of water at a time. And so I was like, okay, that's a lot. But I don't like doing that because in South Carolina, the weather is unpredictable. And one minute is 99 degrees and the next day is 78. You know what I mean? So there's no point. So I water mine daily, but I try to give them the amount of water based on the forecast. Yeah. And then in the middle, we have some flowers. I'm not sure. I can't remember what these are. Like I said, I planted 3 types of flowers from seed this year. They were Cosmos, Morning Glory, and was one more. It might be zinnias. I'm not sure. But yeah. And so we also have tomato plants. And of course, we love our tomato plants. We've been planting tomatoes every year since we have been at this property, and we love it. So this is big. I'm not sure if I said this before, but starting out with growing tomatoes, we've always had to clip what they call armpits. So basically, which is like the things in between here. But I don't like doing it because I feel like it stunts how much tomatoes are actually being produced on the plant. After not really cutting, when I cut my tomato leaves, it's literally because the leaves are dying. I noticed that when I do that, only doing that when it does that, it's because, well, I think I realized why they say we should cut the armpits, because then the plant just grows wild and it does what it wants. It seems like it grows a whole nother side, a whole nother strong foundation, and it's like the plant gets weary and stuff like that. But we have propped our tomato plants up when they start to do that. And so if you look here, we have so many tomatoes. Most of them are turning red, as you can tell. So on this plant alone, we have 4 here, 5, 6. Let me back up. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a good bit of tomato plants on here. I think Markel said he counted on one of these. It was like 17. And that's been a while ago. It's a lot now, as you can tell. It is a lot of tomatoes. And we harvest tomatoes every week. If you see one of our previous videos, we literally harvest 32 tomatoes that were fat and green. We felt like due to the rain, because of our experience of last year, we felt like they may split. So what we did was we harvested them because they looked too fat and juicy. We was like, okay, yeah, no, this is enough. We set them in the kitchen, and within a week and a half, they turned red. And so that's what we have been doing with our big tomatoes. But with the cherry, I think these are cherries, we've just been leaving them until they turn green, and then our plan is to take them out when they turn red. And so these actually need to be harvested. Yeah, they need to be harvested. And that one is like red, but it looks so teeny. Okay, so let's head back to the big garden bed. So as you can tell, nothing else has really changed in the garden bed. Let's see. Nope. So everything is pretty much the same. So we have our tomatoes still coming up. We, like I said, harvest tomatoes every week, and every week more and more comes back. And of course, these are our favorite ones because we get the most out of these. We didn't think that they would do as good as cherry tomatoes, because last year cherry tomatoes were coming up all the time, and as you can tell, they're coming up all the time here. As far as cutting the armpits, like I said, maybe they recommend that because, as you can tell, it creates like one base and then eventually it's like two bases, like two coming off. I actually need to harvest this one because it doesn't look that great, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that one off. Let's see what we got. So yeah, so I don't like how it looks around there, so I'm gonna go ahead and harvest that one. I'm gonna put it on the counter. And then this is basil. So I harvest basil before. I did upload a video on how I dry it out in the oven and create basil seasoning, so be sure to check that out if you're interested in that. And this is Bolton. It's coming to a flower, and yeah, so I'm gonna probably do something with this between now and the next few days. Probably harvest all of this and then create more basil. And pretty much all the basil that I cut down, that's basil as well, and created basil seasoning is growing back already. So I have a lot of basil. So we have this one, that one, this little one is coming back some more, this one, and along this tomato plant is another basil plant. So the basil comes back pretty fast. I'm gonna probably harvest those pretty soon, and like I said, create basil seasoning. This is actually a weed here, but yeah, so all that's basil. So yeah, like I said, the tomatoes, and I'm probably gonna pull these off as well. But after I finish with this video, I'm gonna take a basket and pick all these tomatoes off, because we noticed that when they get too big, they split due to rain or whatever. It seems like it takes it a long time to actually create red tomatoes. And so this right here is our strawberry plant. So we went to the farmer's market a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I was talking with one of the ladies, I guess the farmers, who had produce. And I was telling her, you know, how I have strawberries, and we had literally one strawberry, a bird ate it before we can even get to it. We were literally going to pick it the following day. And she told me that if I have a strawberry plant, I'm going to pull it up because it's not going to produce any more strawberries right now, because in our area, strawberries don't like when it's too hot. So of course, I took that to heart, you know. I took that advice. However, I did leave it just to see if it would produce any more strawberries, and as you can tell, she was correct. It is going to just keep growing and keep growing leaves and all of that, but no strawberry will actually be produced. And it has been up to 99 degrees, and the heat index was like 107 a few weeks ago. So yeah, and our marigolds are still doing wonderful. So as you can tell, they'll die. Some will die eventually, but it always comes back, and we love them. They're so beautiful. We have them also in this frame on this side to kind of welcome the bees or any other pollinators, because I do believe that there are more pollinators than bees, honestly. I think yellow jacks, from what I could tell, even wasps look like they assist in pollinating our plants. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And then this is I think it's a camellia. I think it's a camellia. So someone gave us a number of trees that are like flowers, big huge flowers and stuff. This is literally the only one that has made it out of like 14 trees that he gave us. I feel horrible saying that. But hey, we're learning. As you can tell, our pineapple is getting huge, and we love it. The sides are still flourishing, and yeah, we definitely cannot wait to get pineapples. Like I said, I have 8 in the house right now that we're utilizing. This is pretty much nothing. They were starter plants, and I pretty much quit watering them sometimes, and the heat kind of like fried them out. This is another tomato plant that we have, and as you can tell, it's pretty much about to be too tall. I feel like we need to figure something out when it comes to the tomato plants, because they all like, they get to a certain point and then like this is gonna cap off for a while. After a while, same thing with this one, like this is gonna go off. Same thing with this one, eventually that's gonna help. So it's like, okay, this helps in the beginning, but yeah, not but for so long. So as you can tell, we have tomato here, tomatoes coming down here, and I think these are like Romas. They do kind of look weird as they're growing, but they all taste the same to us, so we still eat them. And then of course another pineapple plant, and then these are tomato plants that we started from seed. This is very interesting. So this tomato plant that I planted, so when I plant something in these pots or transplant trays, if it takes longer than I would like it to for it to grow, then what I'll do is I will just plant something else if I feel like, okay, I wanted to plant something else anyway, so let me plant another seed. Well, we planted this tomato plant, and as you can tell, we transplanted it from the smaller one to the big one. Well, if you look in the middle, this is some type of tree, and I think it is either a lemon tree or an apple tree. I'm leaning more towards lemon tree, because when I looked it up online, this looked like it resembled a lemon. And it's like a bunch of them in here. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this little one looks like 5, and it looks like something trying to eat it, 5, 6. But I think this is lemon trees. So I've been fertilizing it as well. These are more peppers. More peppers. Of course, you can never have too much. I'm not even sure if we should keep growing things like this from seed, but I do it just to see, because I like to know. You know, it's always good to get other people's advice, but it's also great to do things your way as well. So we have big pepper plants, smaller pepper plants than us, and then we have these, and these look wonderful when the man dropped the mulch when we weren't home. We kind of crowded it, but I think it looks wonderful. It's pretty big. These look bigger than the ones over there, so I'll probably also put this over there eventually in that bed. And let's just take a look at the kids' tomato plant right now while I'm thinking about it. Also, we use that mulch to also cover up our, sorry, some noise, making sure it's a squirrel and not a snake. And the next one over is yours. But anyway, so we use the mulch to cover up our compost bed, our compost bays. And I don't want to get too close because I don't have time for this, but if you can tell, there's flies everywhere. So what the mulch does, it covers up this food and stops the flies from being over here. You know what I mean? So we dropped this stuff yesterday. Literally, I meal prepped yesterday, and this is basically a lot of the stuff that I had the kids throw out as I was prepping for the week. And so Markel is most likely between now and a week come over here, pull some of this off, drop more mulch in it, and put more fruit, mulch, fruit, until it's all covered up in mulch like you see here. Also, look at this, you guys. So I came outside last week, and I'm over here in the garden. I'm over here looking at I don't know what I was pulling dirt from here. Yeah, I was pulling dirt from here to put somewhere in the yard for one of the plants, and I noticed a number of fruits growing over here. Let's get into it for a minute. So first of all, this is what appears to be a squash or zucchini right here. This is a pepper right above it, right here, right? And then here's a tomatoes. We have a cantaloupe, and there's also a bigger cantaloupe in the back, y'all. Look, can y'all believe that? So we didn't move them so we haven't been doing anything with this pile other than removing the dirt because it broke down pretty good. So now we're waiting for for the other one to break down like this one. So this is the one that we have been using, which we haven't been using a lot of it. We're waiting for that to break down some more, but we've been using only this one to use the dirt from it in the garden as fertilizer. But yeah, can you believe that? Look how big. I'm gonna get too far, but yeah, look how big that cantaloupe plant. Cantaloupe, I think that's a weed, but cantaloupe, tomato, pepper, tomato. Like I said, squash or zucchini, one of the two, I believe, and then cantaloupe. Can y'all believe it? That is crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, and I can't believe it. You know what I mean? If we drop fruit over here, it's gonna produce. But yeah, I just was like, wow, I can't believe it. And Raquel was like, I was just over here the other day, and I was like, wow, that looks like a tomato plant. But he didn't even notice all these other plants over here. I think he noticed one tomato and one pepper. And when I showed him, he was like, dang, it is a lot over here. But anyways, to kind of give you an update on the kids' tomato plant, it is doing great. It has gotten way bigger since they moved it last, as you can tell. Like I said, we moved it from over by the dogs to this area, and they look wonderful. Let's see, we don't have any tomatoes yet, but we do have flowers, right? Got some flowers up in here. But yeah, they are proud of it. Very proud. Like I said, this is their project. They have been watering it. They have been taking care of it. The only thing they've really been doing is watering it. We haven't snipped anything on it yet, because like I said, I only snip leaves when I feel like they're going bad or going to cause issues. Let's see. Over here. Oh yeah, I'll show you this. So over here we have what I consider our starter and herb area, our starter plants and herb area. So someone gave Markel some spearmint, literally this whole plant and everything in here. And so it was looking worse than this. And so I went through, oh my goodness, it looks like something is eating it. Oh, I'm gonna have to come over here with the pesticide spray. And it looks like teeny black things. Okay, yes, I'm gonna have to figure out something with this. That's spearmint. As you can tell, basil. She's thirsty, so I need to water that. I haven't been watering the garden because it's been raining constantly, literally every day this week for 7 days straight. And sometimes I forget about this area because this is up under a tent. I put it here because most of these plants cannot withstand direct sunlight. As you can tell, the direct sunlight is crucial, is beaming, and so those plants can do fine. But every plant I don't want to get burned, I put basically sit on this bench that we have out here under the tent. And so in those trays are kale, that is thyme in the back, spearmint, basil, and then kale, and then I think these were some tomato plants. So the kale that you saw in the garden that I showed that were really big, they basically started out in this tray right here, and so I took most of them out and put them in the garden. Some of them died, blah blah blah. But yeah, so I have kind of been neglecting this tray, even though you see tomatoes. I haven't really been doing anything with tomato plants because I feel like we have too many. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 13 tomato plants, like, that I just randomly counted just now. That's a lot. I don't, it's because they produce so much, I don't feel the need to keep growing them. But yeah, so that's what we have over here in this area. And so also I wanted to show you this because I forgot they do have, well, I guess you would say this is more so Mal's project. So a good friend of Markel's, he was at his house one day and he was on some work, and he pretty much was like showing him his garden. He does gardening as well in buckets, and he was just showing Markel's success and how he loved it, and everything like that, because he knows that we garden. And he gave us I'm not even exaggerating, me and Markel sat out here and he had some collards that dried out, so some collard pods, meaning so when it literally dried up, and then inside of the pods were collard seeds. And so me and Markel sat through all of them until like 11 o'clock out here. We were having a good time out here talking and burning fire, me, him, and the kids. And we planted them. I forgot to show you guys that. We planted them over here on this first row as soon as you walk into the garden from the side. But mine have not come up yet. I'm feeling like it's due to the sun. This is the most hottest part of, like, when it comes to our garden. And then everything from here is the second hottest, and on back it gets cooler. And so I think it's I came out here in the morning and at night, watered it, and I still haven't got anything yet. But what Miles did was, I think this is like an old bucket that Markel had out here, or maybe it was like an old cleaning bucket or something, and they've just been playing with it, pretending like it's a pot. And so when we were taking the seeds out, I dropped so many seeds right here on the ground, y'all. It was so sad because I had like over 100 seeds already within like 10 minutes. And I was so sad. And I tried to pick up as many as I could, but the remaining ones, I left them. I was going to throw dirt in this area to get them to grow, but I said, you know what, whatever. Let's see what nature does. And so he actually planted these seeds. He found seeds, those seeds all on the ground, and picked dirt up, put it in here, put the seeds in here, put more dirt on top, and he got collard seeds, y'all. Can y'all believe it? I mean, I can believe it, but it's just so wonderful to see the kids actually do these things as well, because ultimately they're learning how to survive. Yes, we have the grocery store. Yes, we have farmers and all of that, but it is so wonderful when you're learning to do these things yourself. And it made me so proud to have my 7-year-old do this, and I didn't even know he did it until he showed me. He was like, "Mommy, look what I just did." And I guess he didn't tell me because he's always doing stuff like this with different seeds. Like I said, they take seeds that they eat fruits from, and they do this, and he does get a little disappointed. And I had to tell him, like, you can't be so negative about your seeds not flourishing, because, and I told him, like, I understand though, because I was the same way. Like, now I'm to the point where I like overseed, and when things die, they die, and I move on, learn from why they died, what I could have done better. And it seems like since our conversation, he kind of like really took that to heart, and he hasn't really told me any other seeds he's planted. And so he sounds like he's starting to be like his mom. He don't talk about it until it happens. And so it happened, and he was so happy, and I was happy as well. But yeah, anyway, so before I show you the most highlight of this, what I think is the highlight of this video, I'm going to show you our sunflowers. So our beautiful sunflowers. We have 3 sunflowers total that have flowered beautifully. And so here's 2. I'm going to try to get as close as possible without disturbing. So there's a yellow jack right in the middle doing his thing. And also back in this area, we did spread some of the mulch here. And all of our tree beds, we spread it mulch. So we spread it mulch so far in the small garden bed, our tree beds, as well as this area with the sunflowers and our tomato plant. Another one of our tomato plants. And as you can tell, all of these are ready. These are ready. Yeah. I'm not sure. These cherry tomatoes seem like they're smaller than what I'm used to cherry tomatoes looking like, if that makes sense. But they look good. So I'm not sure if it's a different variety of tomato plants, but yeah. So yeah. So sunflowers here. And then of course our plants are doing great. This one actually went completely naked on us. Something was eating it, and it was all dead. And it's like I haven't sprayed it in like 2 days because literally it wouldn't stop raining at all. And then when I was spraying it, it was kind of washing away, and it looks like something's starting to come back. So I'm gonna have to handle that. I'm not sure if it's a caterpillar or some type of fly, but the way that the leaves are looking, it looks like it could be some type of caterpillar or something. But the rest of the apple trees are doing great. Like I said, I spray every tree just to be safe in case the caterpillar doesn't like that one that I'm spraying. It hops on the rest of them. I've been spraying them. So here goes another apple tree, and it's doing wonderful. This is pretty much how it looked right here, and then all of this has came up since we planted it in the ground. This is our orange tree. Orange tree is doing great. It seems like he's getting taller as usual, but nothing has started producing yet. It does look like different things are happening in the middle, but like I said, we don't anticipate to see anything yet, but it looks so much better. And like I said, I think all of this is dead. I'm going to eventually cut that. This is our peach tree, which seems to be doing great. Yeah, that's it. It's just leaves and our other apple tree. Now let's get into what I really wanted to show y'all. So we have added something new to our area. Rabbits. We have 2 rabbits, females, that we have added, y'all. So our German Shepherd got loose, and as you can tell, he scratched this thing up, and I'm so glad we had them in here secured. And by the time we realized he was off the chain, we came out here ASAP, because he would have probably ate these rabbits up. Ain't no probably. He would have ate these rabbits up. But, you know what I mean? He didn't, because we got him. And so this is one we haven't like named them. We've had them for about probably like 3 weeks now. So yeah, so this is the first rabbit, and then the other one is up here chilling. I don't know if you can tell. I want to open it up, but see, he didn't try to get out. Oh. This is the other one. Can you say hey? Hello. He's like, I'm about to jump out on you. But yeah, so we got rabbits, y'all. Because we maybe wanted to use them as their poop as fertilizer. So we were told that the poop is like cold fertilizer, meaning we can take it straight from here and dump it on our plants. But we have not been doing that. We've actually taken, so that tray right here is pretty much where we take the poop from. We pull the tray out, and we have these wood chips that we put in there to kind of keep the moisture down, which you don't really create a lot of moisture, but that way it don't stick to the tray. So we put a bunch of these fine chips on that tray, and then we'll actually wait till they poop, and then we take that tray out, and then we dump it to the compost. I dump it to the compost. I don't dump it straight on my plants. It's pretty weird to me. Like, I know you're like, well, why are you using that poop anyway? I get that, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just does something for me. And even in our compost, like, worms are pooping, and worm poop is great for fertilizer as well. So when Markel goes through and shuffles through the piles of compost, there are a million worms in there. They're creating oxygen throughout the soil and running through there. They're eating the fruits and veggies that they can eat, and they're pooping it out, and it's ultimately creating great fertilizer for us. So that is another reason. They love to dig, and they just are really chill, very easy to take care of. We love having them. I'm so mad that Bear did this to this house, because we literally bought this house for them before we got them, put it up the day before we went to go get them, and literally 4 days later he did this. I was so mad, because this was not cheap, and I didn't even want to buy this. I want to try to create something, from scratch, but we figured that it would cost a lot more to buy the stuff and put it together. And then we kind of like the look of this more, like a little home, had a nice little gate area, whatever. But yeah, so they love pine cones. They love maple trees. These are things that we have given them so far. We've also heard that they love any green leaves, but don't give them things like lettuce, anything that's full of water. So we haven't given them those, but they love maple trees and maple leaves, and pine cones, which is why I was trying to start a maple tree in our yard, but that didn't quite work out how I anticipated. So yeah, that was an epic fail. But yeah, so that is pretty much the end of our July 22 garden tour. We hope that you all enjoyed everything within the garden, and we love sharing with everyone the things that we're doing in our garden. It brings us so much happiness, as usual. You all know that as well. And we just love sharing things with you guys, learning from other YouTubers and other people on the internet. And again, thank you for watching our July 2022 garden update. If you like the video, as usual, please like our video. The more you like, the more these videos get spreaded, and the more people we can reach to provide motivation to get out there and garden. Y'all see our fails and our successes. So it's not like we on here saying, oh, we're such great gardeners. You see everything. When we mess up, we tell you. When stuff goes wrong, goes left, we tell you. And when things are up, we celebrate too. So like the video if you actually like it and benefited from it. Subscribe to our channel. We have so many other things as well that we share with you all, such as our vegan lifestyle, and also little small DIY projects. And of course, hit the notification bell after subscribing so that you can get a notification anytime we upload any new content. Again, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.